It is both an honor and a pleasure to be here with all of you today from all around the world. I am born and raised in South Florida, and I came all the way from Miami to be here with you all in Dubai. I've learned so much. Yesterday, my brain was a little fried by about noon because I met so many incredible people and had so many incredible conversations. And so I just want to thank all of you that I've connected with. And if I haven't connected with you yet, I would love to after this because I believe in connection. Okay. Is this the first? Okay. Okay. So I opened my company at the end of 2019. Do you know what that means? COVID. Okay. So I was scared and I thought, what the heck am I going to do? I had a massive business plan with my business partner and all these strategies and all the things that I had learned working under others that did what I was doing for my company, but I planned to do it better because I learned what was incredible that my mentors taught me. And I also learned what could be done better. So while my mother is calling me and telling me that all these people are losing their jobs, they're losing their homes, businesses are closing, I am thriving and abundant. So while I had that fear, there was a bigger, greater plan for me. I own a concierge mental health company called Next Level Recovery Associates. And because of the pandemic, I was able to build an international brand within a year, which is pretty incredible. I started my company with $100 US, so I would have never been able to afford to market myself in-person conferences. So I pivoted. I started having events, Zoom events, and networking things with people. People were lonely, especially my clinician friends. You know, that they're doing therapy on Zoom all by themselves all day. They love to come to the group Zooms. So while it seemed in the moment like it was a really challenging and difficult, awful thing, I am now like way far ahead in behavioral health as far as social media and my online brand. So purpose met the moment. Like I said, well, so many organizations were shifted to fully remote. I leaned into it and I got the support. The people I work with were facing crisis, trauma, mental health struggles, and mental health is always a shh, not my family, not me. Addiction, no, not my family, not my kid. However, this affects people from, Park Place to the park bench. Okay, this mental health, eating disorders, substance use disorders are not, no one is immune to this. This can happen to any family. So I felt like I needed to be a voice and an advocate at that time. So I was on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I was telling my story, and back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember LinkedIn in the beginning, you could get 1,000 new connections in one day. So I jumped in there early, thankfully, and it's been a blessing. Am I clicking at this or here? It's not working. It's okay. Oh, that's why it's... Here, I think it's dead. It's okay, I can keep talking. I'm good with going with the flow. That's what happens when you open a company in the pandemic. So I've done, I never in my wildest dreams thought that the Creator, we all have our own version of what we believe in, and I love that in this room, had a much bigger purpose and passion for me. So this is me. Thank you. Is it working? Yes? Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, this is me. So I am an international speaker, which is a blessing. I never thought that would happen. I was on a TV show that is in the United States called Intervention. It's been on for 20 years. Basically, I was brought on as an expert to work with families and individuals that were suffering with substance use disorder. And while my clientele is extremely high-end and high net worth families and people in entertainment that want discreet services, I was put in positions where I was helping serve clients that were living in tents and trap houses and things that I had never seen before. And it was quite the experience. And I remember telling the casting directors, because I had heard a lot of noise about this show over the years, like, is it okay? Are they doing the right thing? You know, so I had told the casting directors, like, if I accept this position, I need to know that I can be myself, how I am with my team, with all my clients, with these same clients on the show. And I actually was talking to one of the sisters this morning of one of the clients. So they did allow me to be myself, which was amazing. Vulnerability has become the greatest superpower for me. I have no shame in the things I've done, the things I've been through, the poor choices I've made. Listen, I'm still human, and I definitely fall short many times. However, I come from an extremely traumatic childhood. I was abused as a child, and in many ways. I won't get into some of the specifics to be mindful of the room. My sister, once my mother got us away from our abuser, my sister was abducted in front of me. I was 7 years old, she was 1, and her father, who was, you know, the abuser, I thought he was my father at the time, he was such a sociopath. He was Mr. Church-going guy by day and drug dealer and woman abuser by night. So my trust for people, you know, kind of went out the window. And he got my sister and took her to Canada for an entire month. So I wouldn't go outside. I was scared of people. I didn't trust adults. So many things. And then I found out this other man was my father, so I was extremely confused. So as this topic of failing forward or falling forward, you know, in that time, and then my mother put me in therapy at 7 years old, thank God, and I'm still in it today, I'm proud to say. It did bring me down a dark path for a number of years, but at 26, I had a 18-month-old little boy, and he's now 20. So he changed my life when he was born. Oh, I also this year did my first TEDx, and there's a gentleman in the room that did the TEDx with me. We saw each other in the hallway, and we were like, how do I know you? And we were just in Philippines together back in September doing a TEDx. That's a very hard thing to do. I'm used to like coming up with an idea and making it happen pretty quickly, not with a TED Talk. That takes a lot of work, and it's a whole nother element. So I talked a little bit about this, before COVID, I just feel like nobody talked about mental health openly. I did, but I was trying to make people feel like I have been for 15 years, I've been in behavioral health. So I have been trying to break down the stigma and help people feel comfortable with asking for help. And I want to be in rooms, I hope that there's somebody in this room that is never told someone something that they're really struggling with, and they feel safe coming to me. Because I'll meet you with non-judgment, and I can point you in the right direction. For years, I was speaking at all behavioral health conferences. I heard this on one of the panels yesterday. Get outside of your field. Like, that's why I'm here. Thank you, Naitha, for bringing me here. So, I made a decision in the pandemic, not only to have to continuously pivot. I could have said, no, I can't do this. This is not what we have planned. I don't know how I'm going to help people. It's dangerous to go out. I remember if anyone's been to the States and been to Atlanta Airport, it is one of the largest airports in the States. I was there when there was not one person in the entire airport, and that was scary. However, all of my mentors and my teachers, they had, they were in their 60s, and a lot of them had health complications, and they could not do in-person interventions or do in-person work. So I chose to make myself a first responder at that time, take that responsibility on. And people were in crisis and struggling. People that were teetering went over the edge. People that were doing kind of well, they also were struggling. We're still dealing with the after effects. I deal with so many families and women, particularly, some men too, that have agoraphobia. So just a little bit about me. If you want to find me after, I have cards and brochures and such. So I was able to build all of this because of the pandemic. I don't think I would have leaned online if I didn't have to at that moment. So, who in this room has tried something and failed? Raise your hand. Congratulations. You're a winner. Because when we try and we fail, we learn. And then we also, I don't see failures as failures. I learn from failure. I learn from my mistakes. I try again, or I pivot. I'm somebody that has way too many ideas. This brain is a big overthinker, and I want to do everything. And I have to, my team, I have a team, thank God. They keep me grounded. No, Amanda, there's a few questions I ask myself. Is there a need for this? Is this going to be time manageable with all the other things I have on my plate? And is this going to bring revenue? Those are my questions. So let's all fail forward, turning setbacks into strategy and success. For me, I believe that there's a massive percentage of people that have a dream, something they've always wanted to do, and they can't. Oh, well, they think they can't, right? Because of what? Because of fear. Fear holds so many of us back from following our dreams and following our heart and going after all the things. Don't let fear stop you. The only difference between me and anyone else is I'm scared, but I do it anyways. I see a hand. Yeah, you're feeling me on that one. So this is the thing. Every founder gets setbacks, but winners process them into progress. So all those things I learned by opening my business right before the pandemic and really launching it, actually on paper, the business, it was March 1st, 2020 was on paper. I was on my own from August of 2019, but my first day of actual on paper for my S Corp was March 1st, 2020. We just decided, hey, we're just gonna go with it and just continue to pivot. We had to continue to pivot. And now if you've gone through that, I know there's a couple other people I've met that have opened the business, right, Naitha, that have opened their business at the same time. And those of us that muscled through it and kept pivoting and changing and going with whatever happened, ended up thriving. I could have, like I said, said, forget it. This isn't gonna work. However, all the things I learned from my mentors, I had to tweak so many things. The reality, founders often make decisions based on incomplete information and proceed regardless. Walking through is the way. Sit with it. Sitting with it is one of the greatest things I've learned. Actually, if you watch my TEDx, I sit on the red carpet at the end, which is something I don't know if many people have done, because I've learned in my mental health healing journey if there is a problem, there is a solution. And so I learned that problem solution mentality. Sometimes there isn't an answer and there's not a solution. We have to just sit with it uncomfortably and feel it. It's icky. It stinks. However, it is something that has helped me in so many ways. I no longer react to something that upsets me or bothers me. I sit with it, I process it, because I know if I react out of emotion or respond out of emotion, that's not going to be my authentic self. So when I sit with it, I thrive. So, that's at the time, I've also heard a number of people talk about mentors and support system. I'll tell you, as I've grown over the past decade, my circle's become small. And guess what? That's okay. I don't need all the friends in the world. I want people that are happy for me, that aren't sad that I bought a second home or that I started a second business or feel like my light takes away from theirs. All of us in this room, my light and your light together, all we do is shine brighter. So I'm a lover. I love to learn from people and have mentors, and I also love to have people that reach out to me that I lift up. I've had many people that I've lifted up, completely do me wrong, but guess what? I did my part of leadership. So today's commitment, you'll leave with a simple system to make failure useful. That's my goal for you. The power mindset. I mean, how many of us have heard about mindset, okay? How many of us implement that into our personal and professional life? Okay, lots of people. And listen, this is a tricky thing. I mean, I wake up some days and I am not ready to life or human or mother or travel or all the things, right? But I show up and do it anyways. And so for myself, starting my morning with like a reading of some sort, something that puts me in a positive direction, starting off with meditation, moving my body, thinking of all the things I'm grateful for. People that went through the things I went through, some of them are in long-term psychiatric units for the rest of their lives. So God has blessed me beyond. So the mindset refers to the collection of principles that you rely on when faced with pressure. It serves as the mental framework that directs your thoughts, your choices, behaviors, particularly in challenging situations. So say my mindset today was, oh man, my presentation changed a few times. What am I gonna do? Forget it, it's gonna be terrible. Or, oh, nobody's gonna be here because it's so early and everyone's tired. Like if I had that mindset coming in here, it would be terrible. I got up at sunrise, because you can't miss a sunrise here in Dubai. It is stunning. So I got up at sunrise, tweaked my presentation, did my prayer, did my meditation, connected with family because they're 9 hours behind us, so they were going to bed. And I got myself in a good mindset. Like, this isn't about me. This is about a message that's meant to flow through me from my creator. I never make speaking about me anymore. And like, I remember at the TEDx, I had to coach a couple of the people that were about to hop on stage going, don't be worried, don't be stressed. This isn't about you. This is about the message that you are meant to share and help maybe one person in the audience and one person on YouTube. And of course, you'll impact more than that, but if you do just those, then you're winning. So the growth mindset. This perspective views challenges as opportunities for learning and development. Like all the things that we go through, we grow through. If we run from them, we're not going to grow. We're not going to expand. As leaders, we have to be okay with falling short. We have to be okay with pivoting. We can't predict certain things. So fear and commitment. Bravery is commitment, even when fear is present. I've talked about that, God, there's so many things I'm scared of. I just don't let it win. I'm more scared of not trying than I am of trying and failing. Is there anyone in this room that when I asked the question of, have you failed, or I've asked a number of questions, is there anyone in here who has a dream that they're scared to do and fear is keeping them stuck? Okay, see, I see don't be shameful, don't be shameful. That doesn't mean that anyone else is in any better. Listen, it's not easy. And fear is powerful, and it's that negative narrative in our mind, and we all have it. But I'm gonna stay in touch with you and follow through and make sure you go after that dream, girl. So this is a little, let me move. So here we have fail forward. Fail forward means extract the lesson, change the system, and shift again. It says ship again, which it also could be ship. So system setback, initial failure, disruption. Then you recognize it, identifying setbacks as a signal. System reevaluation, analyzing and redefining strategies. Adaptive course, steering towards a resilient path. And then successful voyage. System achieves desired outcomes. And now this pattern goes over and over and over as business owners. Grit is persistence with learning, not stubbornness or ego. Grit so I wanted to do the topic, founder's mindset, grit, growth, and getting it done, because I feel like that's literally my story. And I'm grateful that this is my topic too, because I love talking about failing, because failing isn't failing. Failing is trying and trying again and trying again and trying again, and being okay with failing. But grit is something you have to have as a leader. If you're a founder of a business, who in here is a founder? Oh, heck yes. You all are bad mamma jammas. So here, we always have, I feel like this is in personal, professional, family, we always have the two paths, and the wrong action, I don't judge myself on that. If I make a mistake and go down the wrong road, then I course correct. But this is, your job is to separate what's hard from what's wrong. So there's hard tasks, and then there's things that we make mistakes that can set us back. We can learn from them and move forward. I trust my gut today. That took me a long time. I had a nonprofit before I had my business, and I didn't trust my gut with this one person that was on my board, and she ended up running away with the money, and it was like one of those things that were afterwards like, how did I not know better? I know, I trust, but it made me really sad for a while, heartbroken. And then I turned it into, okay, what can I learn from this opportunity? I will always trust my gut when it comes to business. Energy as an infrastructure. Okay, like I said, how do we start our day? How is our sleep hygiene? How are we showing up in our relationships? How are our boundaries? Who in this room as a founder has trouble with boundaries? Who has like a time frame that they make themselves available via phone? Okay, and you don't respond after. Okay, I love that. So that's taken time. And so I've crossed my own boundaries plenty of times, and I catch myself, and I always end up getting, the bad end of the stick. So, myself and my business partner, we're always like, okay, back to boundaries, no responding to things, unless it's 9 to 5, unless it's a crisis, of course. I'm dealing with crisis mental health, crisis addiction situations. So I have a form now that I send to families when they hire my agency and want to work with my psychiatrists, psychologists, dietitians, coaches, companions. This is what defines as an emergency. If your daughter is in a residential program and someone stole her shampoo, that is not an emergency. We do not need to be called on a Sunday morning about that. So if your daughter is trying to leave or is having a serious problem, or maybe, so for emergencies, yes, I make myself available. But for business things, if someone invites me to a networking event at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, they are not getting a response from me. I do accept emails 24/7. I may not respond. An experiment needs a hypothesis, metrics, time box, and decision rule. So here you go. Decision rule outlines criteria for making informed decision based on results. Metric provides you with a quantifiable, measurable to evaluate success and failure. And again, success and failure go hand in hand. Failure can be success. Time box establishes a fixed period for tasks ensuring progress. And then what you learn from it, your hypothesis, of what you think you're going to have, and then what ends up happening may not be the same thing. So this is great. This is, how do we improve performance and productivity? We keep what works, we stop what does not, and we start new things. So that's why I say, I have all these ideas. It's both a blessing and a curse. My mind always has a new thing it wants to do. So now I've learned to ask myself those questions I said. Do I have the bandwidth? Is there a need for this? Is this going to bring revenue and income into my life? Is this going to make my life unmanageable? And I run it by people. I run it by my team psychologist, Dr. Jeffrey Huttman. I run it by my business partner, Sarah Frias. As far as collaboration, I love to collaborate. As a founder, I love to delegate. I know my skill set. I am not good at administrative work. I am not good behind the scenes. I am an out there girl. I create something, I have an idea, and I can make it happen. However, I know that I need people to help me keep it in order. Because I'll go rogue and be all over the place. It's just my personality. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to learn the admin work, 7 years in. So now, next, never. Focus on these elements to shield your week from interruptions. So as we look at our week ahead, I try not to get the Sunday scaries. Does anyone get the Sunday scaries? Okay, I think that starts for me, it started for me in school. like before, oh God, I have school tomorrow. I still kind of get that. So I've learned how to do a little work on Sundays, like do something fun, make sure I take self-care, and take care of myself. So, what needs to be done now? What can be tabled? And then what are we not going to do? So I was thinking I was going to travel to 7 countries from September to now, which I've never done in my entire life. And I was going to host a retreat in February in Costa Rica. So reality hit like a month ago, and I said, okay, I'm pushing it back. So I'm not giving up on it. It's my dream. So I'm going to still do it, just not now. Shift and navigate through adversity and be able to pivot. We have to be able to pivot. We cannot predict things that are personal, like I'm in the sandwich generation, so I'm taking care of my mom, I'm still raising kids, I'm running a business, I deal with absolutely insane things every day, and then I get a text from my mother at midday, this page. So we can't predict things like this, right? I thought my mother, she's 73, I thought she'd be healthy a lot longer. She's not. I have to have one of my employees take care of my mother and check on her when I'm gone. So we can't predict the adversities and challenges in life. We just can't. We just have to be able to pivot. And if we don't know how to pivot alone, reach out to someone who does. Meetings that matter. I used to do so many lunches, like go out to lunch for meetings. I can't do that today. I don't have the time, energy. If it's somebody that I've built a relationship with, then yes. Quality relationships that are where we have a working business relationship, I will go to lunch with them while I'm home. If it's just some group random lunch that's gonna bring me no business, I'm not doing it. I start with a Zoom or a call, make sure I qualify and make sure it's worth my time. Our time is our most valuable asset as founders, especially if we have families and we're taking care of our parents. Delegate, delegate, delegate. I know we all can do it the best in our company. We can. We're the best. But guess what? Knowing your skill sets and getting more tuned into your skill sets and having others do what they're great at has been the best thing I've ever done. I love to delegate. Safety and accountability. Psychological safety brings issues to light promptly, while accountability transforms those issues into actionable steps. So I also provide free therapy to my professionals that are on a long-term job. So say somebody is living with a client for a month as a professional, and then there's also a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and this team. I make sure that the professional that's living in this situation, because it's not always an easy one, I make sure that they get their own therapy and their own support. So I take care of my team. So this is me. It says she, but it's me. Instead of shrinking, I built systems, partnerships, a brand presence. During chaos, proving the company wasn't just viable, but my company was needed. I was needed. There was a need for, I saw people trying to do these things on Zoom, which some of the things can be, and some things can't be. I had to go, meet a woman that was a severe alcoholic on the 3rd floor of her apartment. Her family were both high risk and prime COVID. I had mom on Zoom on one phone, dad on another device, and I knocked on her door rogue. Because this woman if she would have fallen down her stairs, she could have died. And she was so bad, but that's what I had to do. Is that the standard, the way we do things? No. But you have to do what you have to do in crisis situations. She's actually sober today and doing really well. She's amazing. Okay, I just have a question for you all. What is one thing that you will take action in the next 7 days that will make everything else easier? And I'm gonna start over here because I know you have a dream. Can you stand up and tell me what action you can take?
I started my day on a positive note as you started today. That's my learning conversation, and I'm going to
Yeah, I mean, whatever you believe in or whatever there's books, more daily readings on anything. Or if you just want something random positive, so start with a daily reading, start with your grounding, start with, the things you're grateful for, even if you're in we're women, sometimes we wake up moody. Thank you. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to stay in touch with you. I want to leave it open for questions because there's like a minute left, and I want to be mindful that we stay on time. I've been watching that clock. Is there anyone else that would like to share something that they would like to take action in the next 7 days that maybe they've been holding? There's Mike right there if you want to hop up on the mic so we can hear you. I love your red jacket. You're a vibe.
The action I would like to take in the next 7 days that I've been hesitating on for 10 years is to finish my book.
Amen to that. All right, everybody get this man's contact and let's hold him accountable. Okay? Let's support one another. Let's lift one another. Remember, our shine is brighter together. Anything, there's something, I don't know if this is in any of the countries that you all are from, but there's something in America with women that are, intimidated by strong, powerful, beautiful women. I want to know all of them. They're who I want to get around. I am not intimidated by that. Even my own sister's like that. She hates my success and my shine, and she hates that I'm happy, thinks I'm fake. And it's a sad thing, but that's not my stuff. My stuff is how I show up in the world and how I continue to love, lift, and empower others. So if you failed at something, let's remove that word. You're moving forward. You're pushing through. I saw somebody else that did want to say what they were accountable to. Get on the mic, lovely.
So the one thing I'm doing immediately is apply the now, next, and never for my life. I've been piling a lot of things on my plate, and I realized that, okay, it's just not about knowing, but doing the prioritization. So that was a very, very strong and powerful takeaway for me.
I'm so proud of you. Well, we're going to keep you accountable too, girl. Yes, hi. If you want to go on the mic, just because it's so hard to hear. If not, thank you so much.
Hi, Amanda. I'm Emmanuel Williams. I'm a coach mentor, and I've loved your personal story. So this is not an accountability statement, but it's a personal question to you. At what point in your life did you decide to tell your story out there so transparently, like you did this morning?
I gave you the kid version. Okay, so if my TED Talk is The Unstoppable Power of Believing in Yourself on YouTube. So if you want to look it up, that's my very raw, vulnerable story, and I was comfortable doing that at the time, but when I knew it was going to come out on YouTube, I was like, oh, can it go away now, please? Can it please go away? I don't want anyone, I felt naked and exposed. I've been talking about my story because I've been in therapy since I was 7 years old. So I've been talking about it even on LinkedIn for 15 years because I know that people can judge me. I get some side comments, but I know that I'm doing it as a purpose to help at least one person. That's always my goal. I just want to reach one person. So I've been talking about it for an extremely long time. To me, sometimes the things I share make other people feel uncomfortable, but they don't make me feel uncomfortable.
Because as founders, we want to show that strong strength of ours every morning when we wake up. There's a lot of times we don't show the vulnerability, which you did this morning. I think that's kudos to you for showing that out, and that we all have our weak moments. So appreciative of what you've done this morning, but I just want more and more people to come out and say, yes, we have a vulnerable side to ours, and you shared a very personal story to all of us out here, so well done on you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I try to pass it on to my children. I have a 20-year-old son that I had at 24 years old. I have a 13-year-old daughter who's in the hardest time. She's in middle school. I actually took off 6 months of traveling for her. I just want to be an example of vulnerability is strength. That was almost my talk. Actually, in the magazine, that's my topic. Vulnerability is a superpower, or that is a strength. So I just think that you'll be surprised when you're vulnerable how much it will elevate you and bring really amazing people in your life. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Amanda. I'm Nicola. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Thank you. So I'm taking you up on a challenge because I've had the same problem as you, and that is being a bright, shining light. And women don't respond correctly to us. And you're a bright, shining light, and I see myself in you, and I definitely want to connect with you. And you know what made the biggest connection for me? It was your vulnerability, because we can be powerful. We're very powerful. I'm powerful inside, and I'm powerful on the outside, and I know it. And I'm powerful up here and way beyond. And so are you. And there are many of us. But the world today has not made the space for brilliant women to rise without limitation. But it's the time for that now. And it's us who hold hands and who come together. This is my vulnerability. I didn't actually know I was going to say this, but God knows. Anyways,
I'm so proud of you.
so thank you. Yeah, but we are peers.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
a keynote speaker, I'm a leader, I'm a founder, I'm changing the world. So,
You're going to make me cry. See, stronger together. Spread the love. And I'm sorry, whoever you've spent your time around, you have to change your circle. Drop them all. Okay, absolutely. Yes, yes.
no, come on, we need to lead.
Absolutely, yes, yes. Vulnerability is a superpower. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your time, energy. Sorry I went over. I was really trying to be mindful of the time. Please connect with me, Amanda Marino Official, on Instagram and TikTok. You can find me easily on LinkedIn, and I would love to have coffee, just chit chat with any of you. Thank you so much.